Shinigami, and today I'm reviewing One Piece episode 598. So we got a pretty good episode this week, I thought. We started off with, recap, and then we saw Trafalgar Law, and he was talking to Vertigo, and he was with Monet. And I like this part quite a bit, because we found out Monet was a double agent. They didn't really trust Caesar, and Virgo just happened to be a Tresora, which if you've read the manga you will realize that's later on that's where Kinemon wants to go, and that's where Trafalgar Law's pirates are, his crew. So it was good for this part, and we saw that Vertigo had Trafalgar's heart. So yeah, sort of mixed feelings about it, Next part is we're outside with the Straw Hats, with Luffy, Frankie, and Robin. They're all knocked out, because Caesar used his powers to suck all of the air out of the air. There's also Smoker and Tashigi, and so he's talking to his crew. He's like, tie these people up, and then go inside. So he's acting like he cares about the people out there, which he doesn't. Not much to this part, so I don't have much to say. Then there was the part with, we go over to where Zoro, Sanji, Brook, and Kinemon are. And the big blob's still shooting things over the other side. And, Kinemon's just, where's Sanji? I haven't seen him in a while. And, Brook and Zoro are just trying to figure out what to do with the blob things. And so, Brook starts freaking out because one of the blobs keep getting closer to him. So Zoro jumps up, cuts the blobs into 4 pieces, and it releases this poisonous gas, which he knows is right away, and jumps out of the way. Brook gets shot in the face with the gas, but he doesn't have lungs, he doesn't have eyes or nose or anything, so it doesn't affect him really at all. And he's like, poisonous gas. He goes over and he stabs it, and he's like, more poisonous gas. He jumps over to Zoro, he's like, Zoro, don't cut those, they have poisonous gas. Zoro's like, I just did that, learned from observation, skeleton. And Brook's like, I just thought you were unlucky. It was pretty funny, it was a pretty funny part. Next, we see Sanji underwater, and he's just trying to find Kinemon's torso, and he uses observation hockey, which I was pretty surprised to hear about. And you see the poisons getting closer, and the circle that he's going through is getting a little bit tighter. So all of a sudden we go back up, we see Kinemon start freaking out, we wonder what's happening, go back down. Sanji finally happens to find Kinemon's torso by accident, and it's in the shark's mouth, and it's chewing on it. So Sanji hops on, grabs a hold of the shark. The shark keeps chewing on it. Sanji falls off, and then he ends up kicking the shark, and it spits out Kinemon's torso. So Sanji grabs it, starts heading up to the surface, but the shark gets in his way. And just before the shark can do anything, it inhales too much of the gas in the water or whatever. And, it dies pretty much. And then Sanji realizes that he doesn't have much room, and he needs to get up to the surface quickly, so he starts swimming. And it gets closer and closer, and he starts to use Blue Walk. So that's basically the power he uses to swim through the water really, really quickly, like faster than fishmen. So he gets to the top, out of the water, Kinemon's happy, blah blah blah. Kinemon Sanji yells at Kinemon for what he said in the past, and Kinemon apologizes and said he'll make it up to him in a way. He's always in his gratitude or whatever. And then they realize they still need to get out of that area, which is surrounded by poisonous blobs. And we cut over to Caesar's lab, and we see Chopper just running around. He finds Caesar's book of poisons and stuff, and the drugs. So he takes that with him, and he goes to look for a cure, stuff to make a cure and stuff. Then we go back to the Straw Hats, Now Caesar says, okay, now put him in a cage and then we'll go off. Not much to it. Then we go back to Sanji, Zoro, Brook, and Kinemon. And they realize they need to get out of there. Kinemon says, "Here, let me do this." He says, "My fire style, like my firefighting style, basically will help us get out of here." So he slashes one of the blobs, and like, you know, we saw in the other episode that whenever they catch on fire, they explode. But as soon as it explodes, Kinemon just slashes the explosion into separate pieces, opening like this, like part in the Red Sea for them. So Kinemon states that there's no flame that he can't cut. First he cut it with fire, and then he cut the explosion's fire. So there's no flame he can't cut. And he says he needs to get back to the lab to find his son. And Zoro says, "I like how the samurais fight. I want to learn." He basically, in a way, wants to learn it. He says, "I'll help you find your son." And that's how the episode ends. So this was a really good episode of One Piece. It was good all around. It had good action, good comedy. You know, not much sad scenes. It's not sad, really, at all. But it was still good all around. So yeah. I really liked, I can't even remember what I was going to say. I just liked the parts with Zoro, Brook, and Kinemon and Sanji the best, because I just thought they were the funniest and good and stuff. But the episode was alright all around. Not much happened at all with Luffy's side of things. And it's good, you know, take focus off the main character once in a while. Time for the basic fact. Badassness for this episode, this episode of One Piece. Probably about 6. It wasn't really badass, but still had some badass parts. Attention level, how much attention was I paying? Probably about a 7. How satisfying was the episode? All around satisfactory. Probably in 7.5. It was pretty good, but it was like not the best of One Piece. How interesting was the episode? Probably about a 7 or 8, and that's for the parts with Zoro and Brook and all of them. Luffy's part really wasn't much to it. Trafalgar's part was alright, we learned some stuff. Comedy, how comedic was the episode? It was actually pretty comedic, you know. Lots of funny parts between Kinemon and Sanji, Zoro and Brook, and vice versa. But that was pretty much the only funny part. So, comedy, probably about a 6.5 or 7. Fan service, really only fan service, general fan service, probably was about 4 or 5. That was just, you know, Nami in the bathing suit. Animation, how well was the animation for this chapter, how well drawn and stuff. Video episode. It was pretty good animation, so I'd have to say about a 7. Predictability, how predictable was it? If you read the chapters, you know what's going to happen. But general predictability was probably about an 8, you know. It's like, okay, this is what's going to happen. So, yeah. Overall episode rating out of 5 stars, probably about a 3.5 or 3.8. Definitely go watch that episode, it was worth it. Not much else to add. The Attack on Titan episode review will be online after this, so be sure to watch it. Remember, like, subscribe, add favorites, tell all your friends about us, we really appreciate it. Follow us on Twitter, like us on Facebook, and, you know, just, you can talk to us wherever you want on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitter. We'll respond. We like to discuss just anime in general. So if you have something you want to talk to us about, or something you want us to do in a video, just let us know, talk to us. We always respond. So yeah, that's it. I am the Shinigami, and I'm signing off. Jana.